What's up, guys? This is Jacob Cade of the Brkn, and you're watching the Network 317 podcast.
What's going on, man?
Good, man. Good. Thank you for having me on.
Not a problem.
Yeah, chilling here. I'm in the studio slash rehearsal space right now, just kind of hanging out, which is where I'm at most of the time
Yeah.
during these days. So, yeah.
I just started catching on to you guys. Fill me in about the Broken and some of our viewers. Let us know what you guys are about and, where you're from.
Yeah, man, for sure. So we like to say we're a pop band, but that's kind of a loose term. We play just fun kind of 80s vibe music. It's got some pop punk influences in it, and rock. A lot of like Michael Jackson, the 1975, Prince, that kind of vibe. All those vibes are all inside of it. So that's kind of like the overall gist of our sound. And we're from Parker, Colorado, or Denver, which most people are more familiar with.
A
And we
legalized
all
state.
Yep. That's also the next thing that everyone always says whenever we're on like tour or basically go anywhere, and people are like, "Hey, where are you from? Whatever, you're not from here." From Colorado, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, I know why you live there." And we're like,
Right.
"Well, no,
Right.
it's funny. It's a fun thing. I love it. I'm never like some people are like, "Oh man, that's all that we're known for here now," and I'm like,
Well, hey, fuck it.
"Right?
When it
No,
first come around, dude, I was like, there's no fucking way it's going to be legalized. And then it was just like, boom, it happened. I was like, dude, I remember watching on the news where people go to prison for like 25 years to life for small amounts. And it's like, I was scratching my head like, it's going to be legal? Like, for real?
it's chill."
Dude,
Yeah, man, it's
I,
pretty
I,
wild.
yeah, I'll tell you a funny story real quick.
Yeah,
Uh, I had a buddy that moved out there, and when it first was becoming legal, he was a stage manager. He was unemployed, didn't really have too much going on as tours. Well, he moved out there, and he's like, I'm going to start a storefront, or I guess dispensary, as they call it now.
yeah.
And everyone thought he was nuts because this was like way in the beginning, when everyone thought it was just this crazy ass idea that everyone was like going out there. He ended up going out there, borrowing money from everybody he knew, savings, everything, started this storefront. He made enough. He called me, he made enough in one day to pay back everyone he ever borrowed from to open his storefront. The first day it was
Wow.
legal. Yeah, dude. I thought he's full of crap. But he called me. He's like, dude, you're never going to believe this. I'm like, what? He said, I made enough money to pay everyone back that I borrowed to come out here and open the store. He said, I made it in one day.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm from just east of Indianapolis, so it's still illegal here. So it's,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
whatever.
I've got a pretty funny story too. It's just not really a story, but I've friends that live in other states and stuff. And they'll when they come here and like visit and whatnot, it's like I they're like, yeah, dude, I gotta you have a hookup or whatever, and I can get some weed or whatever. I'm like, bro, just go to dispensary. There's like
That's crazy.
5 of them down the street, and they're like, no. I'm like, bro, it's legal here. No, it's not. I'm like, I swear to you, it is. Just go, and you'll see. Yeah, it's funny, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I guess back to to us, the band. Yeah, we met here, or we grew up here. All grew up here. We just met each other maybe 2 years ago, coming on 2 years.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
yeah, so we've been together for a very long time at all. We met playing. So how the story goes is I started playing at this church here in Parker, and yeah, went in, and the way it worked was, or is, the musicians, they all get sent the songs beforehand, learn the song, show up and play. And so the whole band gets there, and the leader was like, "Hey, Jacob, you gotta meet this guy Mike. You guys are both like sick. You gotta meet each other." And so walk in, and he's like super excited. "Hey, Mike, this is Jacob. Jacob, this is Mike." And we like looked at each other. He's like a foot taller than me, maybe 2 feet taller than me, and so I'm just like looking up at him, and he's looking down, and we're just like, "What up, dude?" And then that was it. We play. I'm like, "Damn, this guy's good, man."
That's cool.
And so we like go back to the green room, and we're just like, shooting the shit, and somehow we got to talking about like skating and skaters, and then went from that to shoes. Then finally got to like music, talking about bands that we like. Turns out we like a lot of the same ones. So happened that I had a solo project that was just Jacob Cade, and we were going on tour, and I needed a drummer. So like a couple days later, I was like, "Hey man, I've got a tour coming up. Would love if you could like learn these songs and come play with me." And he was like, "Yeah, dude, let's do it." And so we met. We went on tour, did the thing. While I was on tour, I was explaining like, "Dude, I want to like start a band. Like I have this vision of a band, called the Brkn. What do you think?"
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, "Yeah, dude, let's do it." And I'd had some songs that were demos of this thing. And originally I wanted to just straight pop punk band. And I had these songs, which are now the songs on that EP number 3 that we put out, and showed it to him. And he was like, "Dude, these are really good. Like we could do something. I'm so down." So we started doing that, went on some tours as the Brkn. We had another guitar player in the band and another bass player. And then, but it was most of the time it was just me and Mike. And then we were like, we want to do like this pop thing now. I don't know how I got introduced, but I was just like, "Dude, you know what? I just kind of want to play super fun, dancey music." And just like, I was super, super influenced by, like Michael Jackson's the first like musician that I was into as
That's cool, man.
one that was like an idol,
That's
I was
cool.
just like, he's my, like, I love Michael Jackson. That music it fueled my whole, my whole existence as a musician and an artist is fueled by, Michael Jackson.
Dude. As an artist,
No, yeah,
anyone that says Michael Jackson, dude, if you can really get into his music and the way it's just structured and just really get into it, it's crazy. Funny thing, my son, my 17-year-old, he come to me, he's like, "Dad, I heard this song on he of course everybody watches YouTube now, but he was like, there's this track on YouTube and it was called Smooth Criminal." And I was like, "Well, there's 2 versions of it." I said, "Alien Ant Farm, remade it." He's like, "Yeah, that's who it was." I said, "Let me show you who really come out with that song." And dude, he was flattened when I showed him. I said, "Michael Jackson really made that." He's like, "No way." I was like, "Yeah, of course he's 17, so And
yeah.
he was just floored. He's like, he just couldn't believe it.
No, yeah, that's a sick story. Yeah, that song in itself is a work of art, because it's so, everything that he did was so like inventive, original. It was like, didn't sound like anything. Like the synth bass and the way the kick drum like followed the bass line, and the way everything was written and put together, and him and Quincy Jones were just like unstoppable,
Right.
genius. But yeah, and did you show him the music video? Is that yeah, that's sick, dude. That's one of my favorite of all time.
Of course, I'm sure I've got a few years ahead of you. But when that video first come out, dude, everyone's just glued to the TV, especially me, because I've always been into music. Even as a teenager, young kid, I've always been into music. And when that video come out, man, I was just glued to the TV. And when it broke on MTV, the big release day or whatever, just
Yeah.
blew me away. I just could not believe, and it's like 9, 10 minutes long, which is
Yeah.
way back then. Actually, as today's standards, is way unheard of for a video
Yep.
that long.
It was like a short story, like a film. It was
Yes.
sick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that is what we were like. I was like, I want to do that. I want that ability to be able to do that. I want to play music like that. Like I've always wanted to do it, but why have I not done it? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's always been like, oh, well, I have to play rock and roll, or I had to play, heavier stuff. And so then it was kind of like, no, we don't. Like, let's change our whole thing. Like, we have only been together for not even a year yet at that point. And so, like, no one knows who we are. No one is going to be like, bro, bring back your old stuff or anything like that. So let's just do it right now and be the band that we want to be. And so it turns out that right when we were discovering that is when COVID happened. So that just gave us an endless amount of time. Still is giving us an endless amount of time to just work
Everybody.
on. Yeah, yep. And so we went and recorded a new record and stuff. And by this point I met MJ at a show. I went to a show to see this band called Nightly play, and they're like a pop, pop synth pop band.
Mm-hmm.
Super great, by the way. Anyone who's listening, Nightly, they're amazing. But yeah, I was at that show and ran into MJ, and we were just talking. We had some mutual friends, so we were hanging out. I was like, "Hey, man, you want to come jam?" And he was like, "Yeah, dude." And so came over. It was immediate, like, "Yeah, this works. You want to be in the band?" He was like, "Yeah,
Nice.
let's." And so then, yeah, he was in the band, and we started writing music. We went to Nashville, recorded a single, which was "Be Cool," which is out on Spotify and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And so did that. We were like, yeah, cool. Let's make a video. Let's release it. And while we were making the video, we were like, dude, we should just come back and record a whole like EP of this stuff that we want to be, so that we have a catalog of this music to play live once, because we're supposed to go on tour in March, hopefully.
Yeah.
So it was like, by then we should have some music that we want to play. So we went back, recorded the EP, and then, that's where like Calm Down, that came out just recently, our next single came from, and is That Time in Nashville, that we recorded with our buddy and beloved producer Mason. And so, yeah, that kind of basically just molded us. It's still like molding us. Like we're still finding like our thing, but it's getting really close. We're boiling it down to like the essence.
Right.
It's like our but yeah, the songs have been received super well, better than anything else I've ever done. And I know the rest of the guys too. Like, we're just like, dude, we're making some good music.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
we all
definitely.
have like, yeah, it's like an epitome. It's like we've actually become like, we're like songwriters now, and
Yeah.
type of thing. So sometimes it feels like it's like, yeah, we're actually, because like when you're in it, you're like, yeah, this is super dope, but will anyone like it? Is it good?
Right.
I don't.
Right.
And so it's just like when, we just like, we'll step back and just listen to it and just like look at each other like, dude, this is sick, man.
And that's one of the questions I was going to ask. What's it like, man, when you write a song? Because of course you have no clue how it's going to be taken from, your listeners or fans, and then all of a sudden it just breaks, and you're like, holy crap! Look how many streams we're getting on this. What's that like, man? Like I said, when you start writing the song, you go in the studio, you spend days, weeks, however long it takes you to record it. You're not sure how it's going to be taken, and then all of a sudden, boom, everyone's listening to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm still like, I feel like we're still waiting for or still in search for our like one that's gonna break it open.
And that's good. That's good. You're not settling.
Yeah, we're still like kind of going for like, we want it to be like better, and we want to reach more people and get out there and everything like that. And not being able to tour is not helping at all.
Of course, it's kicked everyone's ass.
Yeah, but as far as like I'm sorry, I'm getting a notification.
That's all right. I
But
turned off I had to try, like
yeah,
just literally about 1 minute ago, I was like, oh shit. Someone was
yeah,
popping
yeah.
up and I had to hurry up and shut it off.
But no, yeah. As far as like these songs when they come out and people being like, dude, this is really sick, and people saying like, I'm putting my name down because I know this is gonna be massive, or I'm gonna say that I knew these guys when knew them when, type
Mm-hmm.
of stuff like that. It's pretty what's the word? It's humbling. It's like, yeah, dude. It's humbling and inspiring because like you hear that and you're like, what? Someone actually believes in it. Because it
Right.
really, that's, as a musician, as an artist, that's what you want,
Oh, of
really,
course.
is that
Yeah.
someone, that's basically what you're always like in. Well, you're in search for a lot of things with it, but that's a big thing that makes artists become artists and want to write more music, is because they're someone believes in their music and is inspired and wants more. And then you're like, I can make more, and they want it.
Right.
And
Right.
this is awesome. And uh, the fact that we're being able to make records that, or make songs, write songs that, we are like in our hearts, like, this is what we want to do. We love playing this stuff and we love hearing this stuff, and people being like, we love hearing it too. Make more.
Right.
That's super dope. It's a very like, uh, I guess it's kind of a surreal feeling. Uh, it doesn't really like, you never, don't ever expect to have
Sure.
that person say that to you and be like, your stuff is so amazing, make more, I love it, you're going to be famous, you're going to be the biggest, just because people say that, and
Oh yeah.
I try and like be, definitely, we're still like super grounded, and we're like, dude, we're just like we're just like, three sad boys in a room. That's what we always say. We're like three sad boys in a room, just making music, writing about, the stuff that makes us sad, and people like it. And so that's basically it. But yeah, like I said, though, we're still pushing to like get that, thing that's gonna break us open. And
It's good you're not settling. You know what I mean? Like, like
yeah,
the video, which I'm about to ask you about, like calm down. Um, although you're getting a lot of plays, it's great that you're not settling. Like, I'm not sure if lazy is is the word I should use, but just settling and just saying, okay, now we're there.
yeah,
You're still waiting for that big something to come, and you're not
yeah,
just, you know what I mean? And you're not just going to take that song or that video for granted and be like, this is going to be ours. It's like, well, what about next week, next month, next year? You know,
mhm,
um,
yeah,
and that's
no,
good. That's good for as a young artist, man, because so many bands, dude, they try to ride that gravy train on one song and one video, and they wear everyone out with it. It's like, dude, you're such a great band. Bring something else out, man. Just bring
yeah.
something new and fresh out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's definitely something that we never rest on our laurels, and I don't think we ever will. I think we're all such like example right now, we are kind of freaking out because we can't do anything. Like, there's very limited things that we can do as a band right now, as far as, because we can't like play shows. We can't really, you know play a show here. All we can do is make music videos and
Mm-hmm.
records, and we already made our EP that we're getting, all done and ready to put out. Right now we're doing it as singles, and so it's kind of like, anytime we don't have something to be doing, we're like,
Freaking
what
out. Yeah.
what are we gonna do? We need something to do. And so that's just a product of us always like looking forward to the
It's
next.
smart, man. It's smart. It's very smart doing that because, like I said, so many bands are such great bands and they just sit back and wait and they ride that train on that one song. It's like, dude, you guys are gonna fall on your asses, and you know,
Yeah,
and I can't say any different. I've never been in that predicament, but I've just seen it happen over and over again. And You know, I've got a lot of musician friends, of course, and they just, so many of them, they just keep going and going and going and going. Like they'll send me a track and I'll be listening to it, and it's like, that's 4 months old. I'm like, well, damn, you know, they've already got 5 more songs written, you know, and I'm trying to play
Yeah.
catch up, you know, because they're just not stopping, especially in the COVID time. Like, you know, uh, the funny thing is we've been so used to doing interviews in person. You know, a tour comes through, we'll hook it up, get it set up, get a time date set up. You know, I'll show up, camera, you know, someone running the camera, we'll do the in-person interview and just hang out. And when all this COVID hit and like so many tours, we usually set our schedule up for the spring and summer way in advance. Like we know
Yeah.
exactly what show we're going to be at, all the interviews, everything's set up. And I just started watching tours get canceled and shows get canceled, and just one after another. And I was like, man, we better come up with something quick, because there's no tours coming out. So we have absolutely no content that we can, you know, post on our website. And I was like, well, you've been flirting with the idea of doing a video podcast. You know, I was like, well, we better do something, you know.
Let's figure out how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, so I just jumped off. I just jumped off the edge, like, let's go, let's see what happens. Boom, you know. So, and I tell you, Dana, your PR rep, Dana, I tell you what, dude, she's a great person. She keeps me in a lot of new music. Like she sent me, you know, your stuff, and she said, "Did you hear it? Did you hear it?" And it usually takes me a day or two, you know, just to
Yeah.
really get to it, you know. And I was taken back. I was surprised, you know. I was like, "Damn, girl, you're always getting these bands that you know." I'll push play. And it's like, whoa, I didn't expect that, you know. So
That's great.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
definitely in good hands with her. She's a great person.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we love her. She's helped us out a lot, a lot, a lot. And we were like I'm always like, hey Dana, wonder if we can do this. Is it possible? You know, yeah, let me talk to whoever. You know, maybe try it on your end first. It should be you guys. If it doesn't work, let me know. I'll get to the right people
Yeah.
to make it happen, make it work, and stuff like that. And so, yeah, we're beyond stoked to have her in our court, because that's, again, you know, the more people you get to believe in your music, I feel like is the best thing, you know.
Oh yeah, and
She,
guarantee she doesn't stop, dude. She doesn't. She's not one. She's gonna probably give me some shit of really pumping her up, but truthfully, she's not one of the PR reps that will just send stuff out just to say, hey, I sent it out. I mean,
yeah,
she stays on top of it. Trust me, dude. I can send you Facebook messages and emails where she's like, hey, did you listen to it? What did you think? What did you think? Let's set up an interview. You know, and so like I said, you're in good hands. You're in good hands with Dana. And I keep trying
that's
to get her on the podcast. Dude, I've known her since like 2010 or 11.
awesome.
And I'm like, you know, let's get you on the podcast. She's like, what do I have to talk about? I'm like, yeah, how many bands have you worked with? You know, stories of all the bands you work with, different bands you work with, bands Warp Tour. You know, she had some bands that was on that, and just, dude, it just goes back far. So,
I think I would watch that. I think that'd be interesting for
dude,
sure. Yeah.
well, you know, I'm starting to go to get some PR reps, like making a list of getting them on there because, dude, if you just go back and look at so many bands that all these PR reps have worked with over the years, they would have some great stories. You know, and of course I'd want to hear the dirt, like the asshole bands and, you know, the
Yeah.
nightmares and, you know, stuff like that. Because there's quite a few out there. I mean, I ran into some, you know, interviews myself. I'm like, you know what, this interview's over. You know,
Really?
oh,
Yeah.
dude,
No, I.
well,
Yeah.
you know what it is, man. Is it's like, listen, you could be the most famous band in the world. One thing you need to remember: those people in them seats put you up there. They pay for your house, your shoes, the gas in your vehicle, the oil that goes in your vehicle, the food on your table, and we all use the restroom the same way.
Yep.
Only difference is
Yeah.
your checkbook might be thicker than mine. So be it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And
Yeah.
a couple of interviews I've done before, it's like, dude, like, get the stick out of your ass, like, stop. You know, and you could just tell it was all about them. And it's like, man, I wanted to just hit, you know, disconnect on my laptop and just end it, you know, and I didn't want to be an ass that way. And it's like, damn, like I'm so close to just hitting disconnect and just hanging up. but I just let it ride, and but,
Yeah,
that's
that's
that's a whole nother interview.
yeah. It's another headline.
Oh, dude,
No, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Thankfully I haven't run into too many people that are super whack. I mean, I know there's been a couple times where people have thought that I was like a bad person, and I when I if I ever like get that or sense that, I'm like, hey, I wasn't trying to. It was. I remember there's one time specifically where I was setting up to play a show, and this was like a long time ago. We don't have roadies. We don't have
of
like
course.
us set up. Like we have to do it, and we have pressure from the headlining band, from the band that's going on after us, from the sound guy, from the venue, everybody. Get up there, play your set, get off.
Yep.
It's like you have this much time for you to,
I promoted
and
many shows. I was one of them asshole stage managers. Like, hey, you start at 8,
yeah,
you're done at 8:45, eight
yeah,
47. You need to be off that stage.
yes, exactly. So it's like don't mess around. So it's that time when you're trying to set up and everything like that. And it was like during that time where people were like saw me next to the stage putting gear up, trying to talk, you know, hey man, like what's this and that, and love your stuff, love this and that, saying great things. I'm sure I'm just like trying to get my stuff up, and answering as quick, as able,
Right.
and then play the show, um, and get done, do the after show thing, go meet the fans, talk to the fans, sell merch, try and sell merch, hang out, the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. Turns out that one of the people that was trying to talk to me while I was like setting up and I was like talking to them, like kind of like semi, doing two things at once, multitasking, thought that I was being like short with them or something like that, and expressed that to somebody. And I was like, hey man, like, I first of all, I apologize. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. That's not normally who I am. I was not
Mm-hmm.
trying to do that or portray that to you, for any reason. It's just that I had a short time limit to get all this stuff up, and we
Right.
really help us. And so I was trying to, do the whole thing and get it done and talk to you at the same time. But I apologize if I made you feel like you didn't matter or anything like that, because that's not true. And it ended up getting like sorted out and everything. But it's like sometimes it's like circumstantial. But like I've definitely heard of stories, and like kind of witnessed some other like artists be just like mean. Not
Oh yeah.
and maybe it's not mean. It's just like I don't walk on the same ground as you. You know
You
what
you
I
would
mean?
you would be surprised, man, how many bigger, I guess you could say bigger bands or whatever, that act like that, and not all of them. So I've done a lot of interviews over the years. Not all of them, but you always get, like you said, you always get that few that just acts like we're on different grounds. When it's like, well, them people out there in that audience, bro, they pay for your shoestrings that you have in your shoes. Like if you really think about every CD, that you sold, someone's paying for your light bill, someone's paying for your water bill, your trash bill, and it's like, for you to think
And
that you're any bigger than them,
yeah,
excuse my language, is bullshit. Because it's like, to the sticky notes that you write in your notes down in your studio, we pay for that.
yeah,
I mean, if you really get technical. And so on that part, yeah, there's assholes. Now in your defense, what some people should understand or take into consideration is, I don't think some people understand what it takes to put a show on, and everyone that's involved has a crucial point to that show. They have a certain area, like yourself. You know, you don't have any roadies. You got to get up there and get set up. Maybe and maybe not. You may have a sound check. Most of the time, they don't
Yeah.
give you a sound check. You know, so you have no idea. So you have your chords. Your guitar chords. You know, if you use boxes, if you use end boxes, if you know, there's so much stuff that you have a certain amount of time to hook up. There's like, hey, I apologize. I didn't have time to hang out, but during this time setup, I don't want to hang out with anyone. Not to say that I don't want to hang out with you, but there's no time. There's no time for me to give you all of the attention that you need. I can't do that right now. Like, I can't do that because now I have to make, although I get all the equipment set up. Oh, what are we going to play on our set tonight? This. Well, let's take that one out. Let's replace it with that one. So, you know what I mean? There's so much that goes into a show that some people may not understand that. You know, they may say, damn, you know, he's kind of an ass. Well, not really, man. During the show, you're not an ass. You've got so much going on.
Yeah, man. No, for real. And it's that type of stuff is just like hard sometimes. It doesn't happen all the time though.
Yeah.
I mean, most people get it, and also, you know, it's like they came and paid to see a show. So it's like, do you want to talk or, you know?
Right. I get it.
I'll play a show and then we can talk after.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. You're saying like, you know, the fans paid for the artist, everything, you know, that they also paid to be there and come play. And like, to me, I just like, I don't know how you couldn't be at least respectful to someone that's like, because when you boil it down, it's like, I'm paying to enter this building to come look at you. And then I'm leaving, you know, and then I'm maybe buying a t-shirt with your name,
right,
face or logo or anything on it. And then I'm leaving wearing the shirt, telling everybody how sick of a time it was, you know, type of thing.
So you're in a catch-22 as an artist, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in such a catch-22 because you want to please everyone that's come to see you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, fuck, man, I've got to get this stuff set up. So you're really in a catch-22. Like, you don't want to be the ass. I'm not talking to them.
Yeah.
But, you know, but after the show, you'll sit and hang out with them. So you have to. God.
No, absolutely. There was this one time we were on the road with the Dangerous Summer, and it was the Dangerous Summer, Arms Akimbo, Locket, and then we were the first band. And it was like the first tour, the first like big tour like that was with like legit bands that we had ever done. And all we had was our pop punk stuff. And so we were like babies, you know, like super babies. And we learned a lot on that tour from a lot of people. But we would play, and not all the time, but some of the times, depending on the city, depending on the venue, we had to go on like super early. And one of the times we were in Pennsylvania, and we went Pennsylvania. We went up, you know, no one's there. There's like one row of people on the rail.
You gotta love it.
And we freaking played, and we did our set. When we went up there, I was like, "What up, dudes? We're gonna have fun, you know? How are you?" Throughout the show, I was like talking to them, you know, kind of semi having a conversation. We talk about. I was just like, I told someone, I was like, I said into the mic, what was it? We just went out and got Philly cheesesteaks at, you know, John's, or I can't remember what it was. And they're like, "No, boo." I was like, "Oh, what? Is that the wrong place?" "No, yeah, you got to go to Riley's," or I can't remember what it was, what the exact names of the restaurants was. But they're like, "Gotta go to this place. That place is whack." And we're like, "Oh, okay, fair enough. Now we know. We'll go after." And this and that. Just like talking like that. Played the show. We got done. They ended up, you know, liking it, had fun, and so got down, and I went to that row of people, and I was like, "Yo, thank you for like coming up and like being present and letting us play."
Right.
Even though, you know, because, you know, when there's not a lot of people, normally people stay in the back, you know. I was like, "Dude, you guys were cool, man. Thanks for coming up and like being a part of the show for us and stuff. And then ended up making friends. They followed us on Instagram, followed our
Nice.
pages too, and ended up making some friends that I still talk to this day. It's like, what up? We
That's
got a new
good.
thing coming out, and it's like, yeah, I've already heard it, type of thing, or I can't wait till your next whatnot. And it's just like, it's a cool. I remember I was like a couple days ago, or maybe a week ago, I posted up on my story. I was like, hey, I'm trying to look for these sneakers that they don't sell in stores anymore. Does anyone know where I can find them? And one of the people that was at that show
Like, I
was like,
gotcha.
I got you, dude. Go to this website and this and that. And I was like, yeah, my man. And so it's like, that's another thing too, when you act like a jerk, and like, if we were to be just like, get done, go to our like green room or whatever, I wouldn't have made those friends,
Right.
like, or friends. And if you want to get business like about it, fans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, friends turn into fans. Friends want to help out friends.
Sure. Sure.
You know what I mean? Type of thing. So I think that's another kind of characteristic that we have, is we're just like, dude, we'll hang with anybody. Like
If you make your crowd, man, if you make your crowd feel part of it, dude, they'll do the street team for you. They'll be like, hey, send me some flyers or send me some posters.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's the name of the game, man. Again, the more people you get to believe in your stuff and like want it to be a success, and not even want it to be a success, but want it to keep happening, though,
Mm-hmm.
that like fuels your whole operation, the whole thing, the whole shebang,
Right. Right.
on people that believe in the music.
Yeah. How long
Uh,
have you been playing, man?
oh,
Yourself? Like, how
yeah,
old were you when you started playing?
I believe the first time I was like interested in music since I was a little baby. Like, there's pictures everywhere of like me like holding things to make them look like guitars, and
Of
then
course.
pretend like to play pianos, like the toy pianos, like in love with that stuff. But when I actually started to like play and want to learn for real, I was like 8. And I was like, dad, because my dad played or plays still, and he was like, I was like, hey, teach me how to play. So he taught me a couple chords, and then from then on, I was just like, I don't want to wait for an instructor or go to lessons, or
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to do it now. So I would watch Led Zeppelin, "Song Remains the Same," their concert video, their movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just like watch his fingers, watch Jimmy Page's fingers, and listen to the song. With those chords that my dad taught me, I managed to.
How old are you?
I'm 22. I just turned 22.
Damn. So 22, watching Jimmy Page when you were a kid,
Yep.
dude. It's such a big gap there. You know what I mean? Like age difference, or just that whole genre, or the whole time frame. And you being 22, and watching him when you were younger, man. That's you know
Dude.
most people, most 22-year-olds, they'd say someone that like maybe has a date to remember, or like a more recent band,
Yeah.
that's been out within the last 10 or so years. You know what I mean? But going way back, like Jimmy
Yep.
Page, man, that's like, whoa, that's way back there.
Yeah, man. I was watching like videos that happened before I was even born. I still do. Like Jimmy Page. Uh, I loved ZZ Top was another big one.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Gibbons. Slash was like massive.
Oh yeah.
That Slash really, like, I was like, I want to play like that. I want to be good at guitar like that. And so that kind of fueled the guitar thing. And then as far as like being a performer, again, Michael Jackson again. There was Steven Tyler,
Oh yeah.
big guy for me. I was just like, dude, he's
amazing, man.
yeah, incredible. He just like captures you.
Yeah.
Captures.
On their what song is it? Now I'm just going blank. Sweet Emotion. In the very beginning, you may even have to go back because you're going to want to listen to this. There's this wind up thing. It actually
breaking.
it breaks.
Yeah.
It goes in there. And I told my wife about that. I'm like, hey, check this song out. and I actually seen it on Howard Stern, by the way.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and we listened to it, and I listened to it by myself when he, right after the interview was over, and I heard it, and I was like, no shit. So I had my wife listen to it. I'm like, check this out. I said the thing broke, and they kept it on the recording. So
Hmm.
yeah, there's an Aerosmith story, but
Yeah, that's super sick, man. Yeah, that a lot of those records, like older records, have like stuff like that. Where you
mm-hmm.
listen to it and you can hear, and they just like left it in because, like, I imagine it was not like easy.
Well, they didn't have the windscreens and stuff either to keep the S's and the P's and the
Yeah,
and I tell you what, on some of Aerosmith's Pump CD, if you have a good ear and you go back and listen to damn near that whole CD, his P's, and I mean, once you go back and listen to it, his P's are, you can hear the part
yeah,
of it, and the hisses on the S's, and I
yeah,
was like, damn man, like did they not hear that, or did they just say keep it?
yeah, yeah. They were pretty raw, man. They like the recordings and everything are so raw, and we, like we love that. As far as like me and Mike and MJ, were when we were recording this EP that we just did. We were like, dude, we love when like there's just stuff in records that
Yes,
not
it
musical, but it just like is cool. So let's
it's
just
raw, man. It's raw, and it's like, damn, man, that's it's almost like that's supposed to happen.
yeah, man. And that's basically like where like we were like, let's just leave stuff like that. Let's just like
Mm-hmm.
and so there's like stuff where Mike, will when he puts his sticks down on the snare drum after he's done with a take, or like there's vocal takes that have just like natural like cracks in it and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Don't sound horrible, like doesn't sound bad, but it's like not perfect. uh,
Mm-hmm.
and just stuff like that. Like I remember we would just like do crazy stuff. Like we were trying to mic up a we were trying to put the drum tracks through a guitar pedal board and like affect them with the pedal board.
Yeah.
And in doing so, it turns out that there was this mic on that was micing an amp that we weren't using, but it was active. And so when we like went to hit the like input monitor to hear like what was happening from the drums, that mic was picking up everything else and going through the pedal board
That's
too.
crazy.
So
That's
it was
crazy.
this like weird sound, and we were like, "Is there a mic still on?" At that point, it's like, let's figure out why it's happening. And then MJ goes into the room and starts talking to us, like, "I don't know, I can't see." And it was like, "Wait, stay in there and say stuff. Just like say something. Just keep talking. This is sick." And so press record. Mason press record. Say fake love. Say name of the song. Say this and that. Say just like crazy stuff. And it was like, bro, that's cool. And so kept that and like put it throughout the song, like cool,
That's crazy.
like sounds and stuff like that. And so just like, yeah, trying to keep everything as raw and as fun and creative as possible. Like we were just like, let's just come in here and mess around and see
Right.
what happens.
Right.
But yeah,
Your video calmed down.
Sometimes I like talking to the ball at midnight, dawn on my face. But that's okay. You're a cliche, you ruin it anyway. Ruin all that you want. I just want you to calm down. All the world is not over.
Yeah.
Where did the idea for that track come from? Like, what was the meaning of the writing behind it, and
Yeah.
as the song itself, and then the video? What was the whole premise of the video?
Yeah, absolutely. So the lyrics are basically a story or ode to people who like just human nature. Like, okay, so two people have this relationship. The relationship itself is not good, not compatible, not like personalities don't mesh well together.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like hate each other. I kind of don't like talking to you type of thing. But I talk about like, basically I'm speaking my own mind on like the human nature of like why, if the sexual gratification is there, the sexual thing is there, why we will put up with that. So it's like, you know, we had fun going on the staircase is a line in the song. It's like, yeah, you know, I don't like these things about you. You're very arrogant. You make me feel bad. But we had fun. We have fun doing the thing that makes us feel good. And so the whole song, the main character or the one side of the story is like kind of fighting this thing inside of him or her, which is like, well, I don't like this. I don't like the person I am when I'm with you, but I like this sexual thing, you know,
Right.
like human nature. I like that. So I'm going to hold on to it, you know, because why not? Fuck it. We love that. It makes me feel gratification. It makes me feel good. Even if it's for a second, I love it.
Right.
But as a moral person, you're like, that's not right. I want to be in love. And so it's like struggling between these two ideas. And so in the video, it's basically, in the video, it starts out, you know, it's this creepy thing and the light shining through the door or the windows, and I'm like on the bed. Wake up.
Was that a BB gun you were carrying?
Yeah, it was a Daisy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm so just visual, and I watch stuff and I'm like, I rewound it and I'm checking it out. Dude, I went as far as even trying to see the little hole in the front of the barrel to make sure that was a BB gun.
Yeah, man. Nah, I've had that BB gun that was like the first BB gun I ever got as a kid, and still had it like in a closet.
That's crazy.
Like, oh, we're doing something in the 80s, you know, it's kind of like not really spoofy, but like as a kid, like if I was a kid in the 80s, you know, in my house watching cartoons or whatever, I'd wake up, you brought my BB gun, dude.
I was a child of the 80s and I had that Daisy gun. It was,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
and it's so hard. You have to like, force
Dude,
it.
I got my ass in trouble. I went out to my grandmother's farm, and they had a bunch of old. Of course, I was a kid. A bunch of old cars, and just sitting out in the field. So I took up target practice and shot out all the windows with the Daisy BB gun.
Yep.
You know, but
got yelled at.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. My uncle went off, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Bro, it's fun. Yeah. Yeah. I used to love. Oh, I still love BB guns. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
So like when I found it that day, because it was like, we should have one in the video, and I was like, I got one, and so like I got it out, and I just like opened the back door. It's just, we have a big field, and so I just like shooting at rocks or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, so so we come to the video. I'm laying on the bed, light shining. I wake up, realize that, I'm scared of something, of this light, whatever it might be, this ominous, mysterious figure or force or entity or whatever. Run into and, open the door, go and try and see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, run away. I'm running away from this thing. The whole video, you see me kind of, trying to lose this light or this force, and then come back, and I'm a different person once I re-enter the house, and I'm losing my mind with the makeup. I changed my outfit, a darker thing, and then walk into the light that I had been running away from. So essentially, the light in the video represents the, good moral one side of the relationship, the good traits of something. So it's like, I apologize. The light is the bad. I'm sorry. Yeah. The light is the bad.
Man. Hey, you're good.
And it's like the, you know, jealousy, anger, betrayal, hatred, you know, becoming another person, losing sight of who you really are. That whole aspect of like the toxicity in a relationship that's not going well. So that's what that is essentially. It's those feelings, those mental states that are coming after you. And then me, you know, I'm the good person. I'm okay. You know, the cliche. Before I met you, I was fine. You know, now you meet this person you're just like in love with, and you want to like, back, and you're just like, but I want them. Why do you want them? Because of this gratification. I want it. But they're bad for you. No, they're good. You know,
I'm gonna have my 23-year-old watch your video, man. Because...
yeah. No, but that's it's basically it. And then we show like the longer you stay in this thing, it gets you inevitably. So the light gets me. I come in, I turn fully into a different person. I completely lose myself inside of who I am. Put the paint on my face. I'm crazy, deranged, which is how we feel when, you know, we lose control of that want at that time, which is that relationship and that person. When you're just like, you know, idolize and put them in the pedestal and whatnot. And so, and then I walk into the light and just like give in. And then and then scene. And now we're waiting for the next part of the story, which comes in our next video, which we just shot 2 nights ago.
Oh, really? What is that? What is that? Be Cool?
No. So we got a new song coming out, which is called Lovers. It's we're getting the master back in the next couple days. We shot the video for it on Tuesday, and yeah, we're really stoked on it. It's a lot different than Calm Down and Be Cool. They kind of have the same vibe, you know, a little bit. As far as like the song goes, you know, upbeat, fun, and everything like that. This one is a bit different. It's got a different like flair to it, and we're like super excited for our fans and like people to hear it, because we're like, this sounds really, to us, it sounds very different from anything that we've heard before. It's got some weird things.
Nice.
Very fun. It's very old school. It's an old school vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that will like the Calm Down leads itself into this video.
That's cool. So any plans after the whole COVID thing breaks down and everyone can get back to normalcy, if there's ever going to be a normal?
Yeah, we definitely plan to tour as soon as possible when everything gets done. That's basically like our main goal right now, is to get out and play shows. One, because we miss it like crazy, and we're like I said, we're going crazy without it. And so, and two, because we feel like the more we get out in front of these people and play shows, the more people will have listening to our music that will become fans of our band. Yeah, so as far as like plans, yeah, basically touring is like number one priority, and getting out there. And then after that, you know, after we tour on this record, was basically kind of see where that goes, and just try and build up as much of a fan base as we can from this new music. Then, you know, come back to Nashville, record more music, that out, tour again. You know, we just we want to be on the road as much as possible.
Yeah,
and
that's where it's at anymore, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's true. It's like it's definitely changed, because I can't remember how it flips around, but they said it. You know, I was talking to somebody, and we were saying, like, in the old days, it was like you tour to make the record popular. You know, before like the record comes out, and that's what's making you like the money, and you tour to support that. You know.
Oh yeah.
But now you make a record so that you can go tour.
Yeah.
Touring is where the bank is at now.
Before we cut this, tell us how to our listeners how to get a hold of you guys, like your social media, any links. Go ahead and drop them.
Absolutely. So basically, we are most prominent on Instagram. We're always I know I'm always checking that, and it always just kind of it's easiest that way. We're also we got the Facebook. Working on revamping our website right now. So we do most of everything on our Instagram. And like
so what is the name on Instagram?
Instagram is just at the Brkn, at THEBRKN, no vowels in broken. And then I've got my personal account at Jacob Brkn Cade, Cade, and no vowels in the broken on that one either. And you can find our music anywhere. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Pandora, whatever you use, it's up there. And yeah, we just put out, Be Cool is out there. It was our first single. And Calm Down came out not too long ago in October. So those two are out. We've got 2 videos for each of those, or a video for each of those songs, so 2 videos. So make sure to go check those out. Leave a comment, message us on Instagram, on Facebook, anything, we'll get back to you. We'll talk, we'll chat. We also have merch available. So if you go on our Instagram page, you can see, we just put out a new line of merch, with Calm Down, with that single. So it's pretty cool. Hoodies and long tees, which people have been asking us for. So they're on there. If you would like to pick some up, go ahead and leave us a message with your, whatever size you want.
And don't forget to order 5 at a time.
Don't forget to order 5 at a time, 5 at a time minimum. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah. So that's basically it. Just go check us out. Add our song to a playlist. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, wherever. It helps more than you guys know. Trust me.
I said I just want you.